weekly, we discuss parenting.
Parenting is the process of raising children and providing them with protection and care to ensure their healthy development into adulthood. Parenting can be of different type. There is a permissive parent, an authoritative parent, also known as tough love, and a neglectful parent. The impact of every parenting style on a child has an effect that doesn't just affect the family alone but the larger society. Before now, parenting in Nigeria included tough love discipline. If you were born in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and of course the 90s, you will record being flogged by your parents or your guardians for doing wrong. The principle of spare the rod and spoil the child was in full swing. Sometimes simply due to not answering questions correctly could get you the beating of your life. This is what tough love entails back in the days, and our parents would always insist that whatever they were doing to us was from a place of love, though tough love. Then a statement like sleepover was a taboo. You wouldn't even dare. Parents then didn't see the reason why their children would leave their own house to sleep in another person's house. It clearly didn't make any sense to them at all. Now, in the past, there was an expectation of deference to people in the position of power, which includes parents and elderly persons. We've heard of stories of aunties and neighbors who would spank a misbehaving child in the absence of his or her parents. Every elderly person felt obligated to reprimand a misbehaving child, irrespective of who the father or the mother was. But today, Nigerian parents go through many challenges that put pressure on an average family. The state of the economy has led to the increase in hustle and bustle just to ensure there is food on the table for the family. This has ultimately led to lesser time for family to bond. And of course, that community development has gradually diminished due to the fact that everyone is trying to secure his or her space from being run over or being stolen from. Social media is also affecting the way Nigerian parents bring up their children as they attempt to adopt mentors that used to be foreign to them, that may not be necessarily suitable for the Nigerian culture. Modern day education that has to do with intimacy and dating in Nigeria has taken a different turn. In the past, for example, female children were told a lie which they believed, that they could get pregnant by simply allowing the boy child to touch any part of their body, be it hand, leg, and even their nostril. And this was done by parents back then in a bid to put the child in the dark about conversation like that until they thought she was of age to hear and engage in such. But children of nowadays are more aware than you think. In today's Nigeria, parents are more friendlier than the old days. There are more conversation between parents and children, partly because an average Nigerian child seems to demand it. Parenting affects intelligence and education. Research has shown that a child who is subjected to any level of abuse, mistreatment, and neglect finds it difficult to focus in classroom. Now I think I have been able to lay the foundation for then and now without necessarily taking any side with any of these generations. So having said that, let's now bring the reason for this conversation and this background analysis.
Days ago, last 2 weeks ago, a video clip surfaced on the internet about a boy child who went to the mall with her parents. The boy is arguably around 5-6 years, if I'm not mistaken. So they went to the mall and the boy was randomly picking stuff, and the parents asked him to stop. And for refresher purpose, I would like our viewers to take a listen to the video.
Give me your
I won't pay for the bag.
You won't pay for the bag? Give me.
I will pay.
Why you want to pay?
I'm not the pay with you.
Why you want to pay? Yeah? Oh yeah, wait, sir, that's good. I will come and buy it tomorrow, yeah? See, let me see this one. This is not for kids.
No.
Wait!
Leave it.
It's not for kids.
No, it's for. No.
It's not for kids. It's for.
Leave it. No, not try. This. Now you get some.
language. Not try me.
Such a young boy like that, speaking in such manner, even the words he was using. So I'm not going to just mention any of them. But then again, we see that parenting nowadays, will I say, is being influenced by social media, because these days parents want to put their children on social media, they want to put their kids on socialite. They call it that, okay, let my child socialize, let me put it in that manner. So even when the child is doing it the wrong way, they just feel it's part of the child socializing. With the video you just heard, you can see the boy should, I don't know how many of you have come across that video, but that boy should be like the age of 5, 6. And he's practically dragging stuff that are not meant for his age with his parents. Okay, dragging perfume, a body spray, and a box. He actually cannot afford those things. So why is he using those kind of words for his parents? Why is he using such words for his parents? I don't know out there. I don't know what you guys
Is it a parental issue, Sam?
Yeah, I feel it's building up the responsibility of the parents, doing the parents' fault. Because honestly, now, before that, back in the days, you won't try that with our modern day parents. You won't even try, because the way they will look at you, you will understand that, come on, if I do this, I'm going to be.
It's even the fact that parents were laughing.
I'm telling you,
funny about it.
that China say
actually
you'll
nothing
be
funny
seeing
about
that they have
And the fact that it was even the parent that filmed and
Yeah,
uploaded
they were
online.
like supportive.
Because they are proud of him.
the whole
They are
situation.
proud of him. They feel he's socializing.
Yeah.
So let him put him on the internet. Let him make him popular. Because these days, you see, Nigerians indulge in something that not responsible, and that's what makes them popular. So the parents feel, okay, this thing is going to make my child popular, whether on the good lights or on the bad lights. So let me put it there. Let me put it out there for the world to see, which is actually wrong. So you should correct your child indoors.
The video we just watched, can you tag it as bad parenting?
Yeah, totally. That was bad
Bad
parenting.
parenting. That's very, very bad parenting.
What about the language? I'm more or less concerned about the language. The language
I'm very concerned about the
at
language.
6.
I'm even wondering, like, is that boy actually going to school? Like, is he being schooled?
And the parents are just there laughing at the
because
behavior.
it's funny because the parents are laughing. Even the father is trying to like speak something proper to the boy, and boy is, just speaking some verbal language, and I'm like, is this boy not supposed to, at least at this age, be able to speak a good English, something that is pleasant to the ear? Even the pidgin he was using, you will know that this is not a common pidgin. It's not a pidgin he came across just from one channel.
Yeah.
It's something he's used to.
It may be more than
Something
social
is
media.
Or it could also be a situation of, it's a thing of babies giving birth to children. Like, make a reference to the parents.
Not responsible.
It's like, what is parent use in communication at home? How does the parent, the father and the mother, how do they communicate with this child?
Those parents, the parents of that child probably should be the age of 25 to 29. Let me not bring it down so low, because if you can hear the voice from the background, it's actually a young father. I'm not saying young parenting is wrong, but all I'm saying is we should try to put young parenting in the right order, because nowadays you see girls of a very young age going into marriage, and they are not even they are not yet responsible. So I feel before the young age going into marriage, they should be responsible. They should have that responsibility energy. Let me put it in that manner. They should have the responsibility energy to know that when a child does something, I should be able to correct this, and this is the wrong act and this is the right act. Know the difference between the wrong act and the right act. Don't just get influenced by social media. I still fall this back to social media. I keep pointing it to social media because these days you see young parenting they are influenced with social media. They put their whole life in social media. You see, people even get married at a very young age because they feel, okay, at this young age I can still work with social media, put my kids in social lights and all those kind of stuff. And this thing is badly affecting the future generation. You can see that young boy, the way he's speaking. I can't even imagine before he gets to 10 years. I don't know.
Start fighting with your father.
I don't know what I'm going to say, but
the process of bad parenting. What are the reasons for all of these bad parenting? We cannot just lay it all on social media. Like you cannot just say.
I'll say this Gen Z generation, they have forgotten the culture. That's what I'm first going to say. They have forgotten the culture. Because the truth is, if we say our parents back then were hard on us, let's put it as will I call it chaos love or tough love, whatever it may be called. But I'll say it brought up us in a good way. Though not all of us per se, but I'll say 70% to 80% of us. Because the truth is, if your parents were so bad at parenting you, you wouldn't have gotten to the extent that you are. You wouldn't have been what you are. There might be hard, harsh, or whatever, but we are so much forgotten about our culture. We now feel westernization is all the way the white man does things is the way we should do things. No, we are Nigerians. We should act like Nigerians. We should take responsibility into our hands. We don't want our kids to be like people who grow outside the country. Like there was a time I was listening to a podcast, and on the podcast, the man mentioned something like the parents at home now train foreigners, and that's the truth. Like parents at home, you're not training your child, you are training foreigners. Because most parents, when you call them out and you call their child, they can't even beat their chest for their child. They can't even say my child cannot do this, because the child has I will not say misguided the child per se, but they have let that child loose too much, way too much. The child has gone the wrong way, totally the wrong way. He's not even trying to be mold or being cultured anymore. He's allowed to do whatever he wants to do.